And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thomson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Well, hello to everyone, and welcome to the Weighing In podcast, where my man Josh Thompson. Look at that shirt.
Josh Thompson?
Look at that.
Who the fuck is Josh Thompson?
Thompson.
Is like
Josh
Thompson Parker?
No, look at that jaw. Look at that jaw. Not that one. The one in the shirt.
Yeah, that's
Josh Thompson, man.
look at that. Look at that.
That's a good looking. I got mine's got. It's like my jaw's all big and my brains is all small.
So great. It's reality. Yeah, we had a fan send me over the artwork, and then I had it put onto a t-shirt. Thought it was great.
Looking good.
Thought it was great.
Looking
Thought
good.
it was great. I give you.
So how you
Did I
feeling?
give you one of these?
Yes, you did. I have one of
I'm
those
waiting
shirts.
for you to wear it.
I've worn it.
Have you?
I have. I've worn it on our show.
Hold on one second.
I love that thing. Uh-oh. Now comes the trouble.
This one right here, though, is hands down my favorite t-shirt.
Oh, you're going to go with your old man thing?
It's hands down the best. That's from you from Rogan right there. That's a
Yeah, well, you've altered it just a little
that was
bit.
before you started dyeing your grays.
I still don't
That's
look that
before
old.
you started dyeing your grays. See, this is
Oh, dying. Yeah. I just used this patchwork
this
here.
was great. I mean, you added you left a little bit just so the reality was it kept a little bit of the reality of it all. But I love it because, I mean, this is what you look like without makeup. See, like, people don't realize like there's no makeup, so this is what you look like
That's
without.
awesome, yeah.
You know?
That's probably it.
Yeah, it is. It's cool.
Damn, I don't even think my dad looks that old.
Oh man! All right. Well, look, we got a lot to talk about. We got a big time fight this weekend, and we're gonna break down this main event card. And the main event card's the main card, I should say. And pick a couple fights from the prelims that we're interested in, and we'll go ahead and break down some big fight announcements coming up for early January, February, and March. Big deals, man. Big deals coming up. Big things coming up. And Chael Sonnen, if you guys haven't seen our interview with Chael Sonnen, it is up on our YouTube channel right now. Check it out.
They did an exceptional job getting it up right away.
Yeah. And Chael had some good things to say. There was a couple jabs taken at us, because we did the interview with them, and and Ariel didn't seem like he was happy about it. It is what it is. Look, Ariel, I'm going to be very, very straight up with you. I like you, man, and I'm not taking jabs at you. We've had our beef back and forth. And I saw like, oh, I watched 30 seconds of it. No, don't lie. Your guys watched most of it. You watched it too. Let's just not lie about it. Let's just be real. Okay. Look, I watch your show occasionally here and there. I'm not going to sit up here and say I never watch you. I do watch you. I am a fan. I think you do a great job. But you know what? It's been years now of this bickering back and forth. Stop acting like a child. Leave it alone. It's done. Okay? If I see you, I'm going to be respectful to you. I hope you do the same. And I admire what you do as a journalist. But I'm done with the bickering back and forth. I take jabs at you in fun, but apparently, from what I can gather, you don't seem like you can take the jabs all that well. You think it's personal? It's definitely not personal with me. I give two shits. Okay? And I just wanted to get that off my chest. I wanted to say it out loud because I think you do a good job. I think you're great for the sport. But I think I've always directed it like as in a joking way and in little jabs here and there, but it doesn't seem like you're handling it very well. So I'm going to be very upfront. I'm going to stop it. I'm not going to give any jabs at you anymore. If we see each other, I hope nothing but respect for you. That's it. That's all. I'm done with it. Okay. That's it. I just think it's best to do that, to leave it that way and move forward. I wish you nothing but the best, success, all of the other things. I like you, man. I do. I really do. I think you're good for the sport. Leave it at that. Had to be said, man.
Okay.
Had to be said.
I had no idea you were going to say it.
Yeah, I know.
Then again, I didn't watch.
I want to move on, man. I want to move on. I thought it was a joke, and it just seemed like it's not getting to be a joke anymore for him, and it's personal, and it's I don't know what it is. It's weird. It's weird to me.
Okay. Question: does it seem like he's being hurt by it?
No, but the stuff back and forth, it seems like there's something there. He doesn't like it. The Hilwani thing I thought it was a joke too at first, but then it was taken serious and personal, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. To me, it's not personal. I don't really care. I thought we were joking back and forth. They call me a punk for a reason, John. You know that. I like to dish it out, and I can take
like
it.
to push buttons.
I can take it though because I just don't care.
Yes. No, it's the one thing I will say. It's why I have fun with you is you can dish it out, but you can take it because I dish a ton back to you.
Yeah.
That's all we do. So it's.
I mean, in the room, right,
with
Cain Velasquez, with DC of all people, right? Like these guys, Habib, when as they're it's hard. You got to learn to have thick skin around these guys because they're gonna let you know you were shit today. You were this, you were that. They're gonna tell you all the things. They're gonna tell stories about what happened in the gym when you were breaking one day. They're gonna tell those stories one day, and so you've got to have thick skin and. It doesn't go both ways. And I expected it to, but it doesn't. And look, I like it.
Not everyone looks at things
it does.
the same
They
way.
don't. And I've got to learn to just leave that alone. And like I said, I think he's great for the sport. I admire what he does. I think he's a good guy. I'm a positive guy. I try to stay positive. I thought we were joking around and apparently it wasn't taken that way. So let's just, like I said, I don't want to have any negative things to say about him anymore. I'm going to move on. Not going to mention him anymore. And best of luck to him and everything. And if I do see him in person, I want to just, I'll be very respectful as always. and I've not been respectful to him when I didn't like what he had to say, but I said it to his face. And I just want to make sure it's clear. I'm not one of those guys. I'm going to walk up to you. Like, I'm going to threaten you to hit you and beat you up. That's just not me, man. We're grown men. Like if you can't talk,
you try to beat me up all the time.
I know, but then you fell on me,
and it's just wrong.
You fell on me one day and broke my back almost. Fuck. It's like a fucking oak tree falling on me. Jesus.
Yeah, well, I've had that happen too.
Yes. I thought I broke 6 ribs when you fell on me, big guy.
Woo! Oh, you would know.
No. Anyways, all right. Well, look, we've got a big UFC 295 coming up this weekend.
Yeah,
John,
I like this one.
John.
I know it lost its main event. I don't think it got any worse. I mean, it's different, but it's still. I love they put the main event now is Yuri Prochazka against Alex Pereira. What a fucking great title fight, and it's. You take a look at now. It's almost like a pyramid or a triangle because you got Jamal sitting at one side. He was the champion. He gave it up based upon tearing his Achilles tendon. That sucks. But it was Yuri who had to give it up earlier because of his shoulder injury. And then Alex comes in, has the win against, Adesanya, loses it back to Adesanya, comes in, beats the ex-champion in Blachowicz, and now he's sitting in a position where he could be a 2-division champion in the UFC if he gets a win in this one. I love this fight. I think, first off, Yuri Prochazka is a unique individual. We talk about awkward, super awkward in the cage, which makes him dangerous. He does strange things at strange times, but he's got a guy that can put him out with one shot possibly in Alex. I've never seen anyone do it to Yuri that way. I've seen people beat him, but man, I'll tell you what, he is a stud of a fighter.
I look at Yuri. Yuri, he possesses all the weapons of the wrestling. It's not great wrestling, okay? But he does.
But it's different wrestling.
It is different wrestling.
It's not your standard. Oh, he goes a double leg, goes to a single leg. Runs the pipe. He doesn't do those things. He does things in a different way.
Well, here's the advantage that Yuri has. Yuri has the advantage of I can shoot a shitty shot. I can try to do a hip toss. I can try to do a foot sweep. I can try to do all these things because if I end up on the ground, I'm better.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean that Alex can't defend submissions. Alex can't fight his way out of submission.
Alex has gotten
get
better
back
on the
up to
ground.
his feet. He's also got a little insider trading going on with Glover being his coach, and that Glover has fought Yuri. There's a lot of knowledge and Glover is one of the best minds in the sport. People don't give him enough credit that way. Glover is absolutely amazing in terms of what he can do. Someone who fought at the highest level, became world champion after being 40 years old. Let's be real. The guy knows what he's talking about and knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
And he knows how to transfer the information that he's gathered in fighting Yuri and give it to somebody who he is hands-on working with. And I think Alex, that will definitely give him more confidence. I look at Alex definitely having the better stand-up. But the thing is, when you're fighting someone who has stand-up that's good. It's not great. Yuri's stand-up is good, but it's not great. But it's very unorthodox. He's not fighting Israel Adesanya, who stands in front of you, uses typical footwork and sticks and moves, and he's not fighting that guy.
He's not and it's not that smooth movement where Izzy's smooth and when he moves in and out and everything is fluid. And Yuri is very much like Keith Jardine. He gives the jerks and he takes awkward steps. He takes steps that you look and does a spinning back fist off of what normally we're going to say don't do it that way, but he does it and he does it well. He's just got a different style, what's difficult is fighting the guys who are different because you can't find people in the gym to mimic what they do. What they do is so weird to most people that most people can't even pull it off in trying to, emulate it in a sparring match for you. It's not an easy thing going against someone like Yuri.
Yeah, everyone who's faced Lyoto Machida or they faced Stephen Thompson, they faced MVP. Those guys, even though that's a karate style, taekwondo style fighter, they're difficult to deal with, especially once they've learned a little bit of that takedown defense. Yuri has that herky-jerky Keith Jardine style, which a lot of people said it was hard to deal with as well when they were fighting him back in the day. It was hard because you didn't know where the punches were coming from. Was he feinting or was he really going to throw? You just didn't know. And the head bob, the hands moving. And I got to be honest, all the years of fighting, the guys that did this, it drove me crazy. I'm like, just hold your hands still. Just hold them still. It was like, I don't know if it was it was something to do with like my obsessive compulsive, just do this.
You're looking at someone that it's almost a spastic movement and it starts to irritate you.
Yeah.
It's crazy because it's like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
But John, if you're looking at this fight, how does Yuri get it done and how does Alex get it done?
I say if Alex gets it done, he gets it done early and he gets it done with knockout. He's got a beautiful left hook. He's got, it's not quite what we would say is textbook, but the way he throws it, he's got power on it, so it works. He's got power in every, thing that he throws. His kicks are hard. His hands are hard. He throws good elbows. He gets Yuri out of there by, I would say, late second, early third round, and that's his way of winning the fight. I don't see him taking the fight in a decision going long. Yuri, I look at, differently. I said in the beginning, take your time. Look for the takedowns. Look to put him in bad positions. Wear him down. And anytime you're on the ground, I would say I think that you're in a good position to keep yourself safe and possibly win the fight if you're in the top position. Even from the bottom, he's got some good submissions, so it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. And the longer the fight goes on, the more I think it goes towards Yuri.
I don't know. You got me thinking about a lot of things right now with the way you approach this fight, because I kind of had I wouldn't say a little bit the opposite way, only based on that Yuri. Let me start with Alex. Alex has been very active in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yuri has been healing up. He hasn't been active. And in his fight with Glover, he looked tired in that 4th and 5th round. He fights at a style almost like a Michel Pereira, however you say his last name. Yeah. He almost fights like him. It's very spastic. It's all over the place. Sure, he was able to get through and win the fight, but it was that moment of like in the 4th and 5th, they both looked exhausted. Whereas Alex has been training for 5-round fights the last 2 years. He's going to be ready to go a hard 5, whereas Yuri not so much. So when you said, hey, Alex going to have to get him out of there early, I don't know about that. Him coming back, getting himself in shape in that 4th and 5th, he is very hittable. That's the other thing. Yuri is completely hittable. And Alex is very hittable also, by the way. but
the one thing I want to bring up is, I've watched Yuri since early in his career. I watched him throughout all his fights in Japan, everything. He never got tired. He did get tired. You're right. He got tired against Glover in that 4th and 5th round. But even in that 5th round, he finished the fight. And like anybody, you can have those nights, even though you're in shape, that it's just not there for you, And that's the only thing I can say is because every time I've ever watched him fight, he's in phenomenal condition. He can go. Yeah. And so I'm gonna put that off. And I did think about it. I'm going to say, I think that was just one of those nights where, hey, he struggled, but it was an awkward fight, and it had a lot of mistakes by both guys. There was a lot of energy spent that shouldn't have been spent at times and everything. So I'm just putting that one to the side saying, yeah, he did look tired in it, but I think it was, that it was the outlier. I don't think that.
But what about coming back from this long injury?
But sometimes coming back, all that rest and everything, you're better.
That's true.
You're a better fighter, because when you're older, and I hate to say this because, there's a lot of older fighters I like, but when you're getting up into that upper 30s and you coming off of an injury, it never seems that you come back better. Mm-hmm. You always seem to come back. You lost just a little something being off all that time. And what you did getting back into the gym and having a camp kind of got you back up close to what you were, but you're still not quite there. And Yuri's still, he's got a lot of fights, but he's still fairly young. He's right in the prime of his career. And I would say that I think he's going to come back strong. I really do. He's just a crazy workaholic when it comes to his condition.
I mean, I can kind of relate to that. I tore my my shoulder out right before I fought Gilbert the first time, and I knew that I was fighting for the title coming back, and it really was almost like motivation to train even harder, to push yourself. You knew you were at the peak. During that time of recovery, I didn't go out and party. I didn't go out and wasn't drinking at all. I was eating still clean when I was recovering from my shoulder. Had I not been right at the top, I probably would have been out celebrating here and there. I don't know what I would have been celebrating, because you were
celebrating being hurt.
You know what I mean? Like fighters, when there's you're not feeling that next step, you're not feeling like, okay, I'm one step away from being the champ, then you have a tendency to let yourself get distracted. Slack off, get distracted. Him being the champ, vacating the title, and then knowing that, like, look, all I gotta do is win this fight. I'm in the title shot right now. I win my fight, I get my title back. It does. You do hit a chord with that when you're talking about his motivation to get back on track. So I could see that. I think that Yuri's just got to utilize a little bit of the wrestling, keep the funk there. I could also see a lot of spinning attacks. And the reason why I say that, against a traditional style kickboxer, the spinning attacks out of the wrestling or out of the exchanges, they just throw those type of traditional style kickboxers off. Someone like an Izzy, somebody like an Alex, a traditional style kickboxer, they're just not used to the spinning attacks off of the movement or off of the breaks. And I believe it was Yuri caught Dominic Reyes, right? Off of the spinning attack, off of the exchange. Very similar. So I could see Yuri winning something like that along those ways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's, look, you never know. I look at it. The longer the fight goes on, I've seen Alex slow down. Now he won the Adesanya fight in the 5th round, though, so obviously he can go. And I do think that the 185 was too much of a cut for him. I think he's better at the 205. I think that's a better way for him. And is it possible for you to pull up where his Blachowicz fight? Because I think it was in Utah, which is at Elevation.
Up.
Yep, Delta Center. Boom. Yep.
Screw that.
So it was at Elevation. So I can understand him getting a little bit, tired and stuff. But I've seen it throughout his career for the most part. I do think the 205 is better for him. He might not get tired at all in this, but just the way I look at it, early in the fight, I got to look towards Alex.
Yeah. As
the fight goes on, I look more towards Yuri.
I like this main event, but I got to be honest, I like the co-main more.
Why do you like the co-main more?
I'm high on Tom Aspinall, man.
You're not high on Sergey.
I like Sergey a lot. I'm
high on Sergey.
He's trained at AKA. I have nothing against Sergey. I actually really do like him. We had Cain Velasquez on. If you guys haven't seen that interview, check back in. He was just on 2-3 weeks ago. Check that interview out. He says a lot of very positive things and about Sergey Pavlovich, who he's trained at AKA for a couple of years. But I'm high on Tom Aspinall. I think But I'm
blame
looking at the new generation of heavyweights. You look at guys like from Bellator, you've got Ryan Bader, you've got Moldavsky, the smaller, more agile, more athletic. That's that style of heavyweight that I'm looking at. I know that Cyril Gahn's not a small heavyweight, but the mobility.
Neither is Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, he's not that small, but like they're
he's 6'5".
yeah, but they're mobile, John. They're mobile. They can
He's
move.
mobile, but he's a big dude.
These guys, they're not stiff. They don't look like, I don't know. They just don't. They have the movement on the feet that just makes them look like they're a lot smaller than they really are. They're a little bit better athletes.
Dave, take a look and see if you can find how much Tom Aspinall weighed in against Topuria, because that was his last fight. See what his weight was.
He doesn't look like a big guy though, John.
Is he
6'5"?
He's
Good
6'5".
gosh.
Usually this is the last weight recorded based on
Yeah.
the last fight. So
Okay.
258.
All right.
That's not bad.
258.
258. What's Sergey?
That's-
Sergey's
that's-
cutting
I
weight.
have it here.
Sergey's going to come in at 265.
Yeah.
I have it here as well. It's 258.
258.
So yeah, it was 258.
Yeah. Woo. I mean, he is a big guy, but I look at
He's big. Both of them are big.
his mobility, his speed on the feet, his athleticism off of his back, his grappling. He's going to have a hard time getting Pavlovich down though.
Yeah.
But if he can't get him down, holding him down on top, he might have a good chance of getting there and chasing the submission. But he does not want to be underneath Pavlovich at all.
No, I don't know if he wants to be in the stand-up along with Pavlovich. Let's be honest. Pavlovich he's got that Francis Ngannou power. He hits people and you see them go, uh-oh. He puts people to sleep fast.
That's a lot. You just use Francis as a marker, buddy. That's a lot.
Hey, that is a lot, but he's right there. This guy hits with the same ferocity of a Francis Ngannou. Man, when you're a heavyweight, you don't have to hit as hard as either one of them, and you can put people out.
That's true.
But when you hit as hard as they do, even the shots that don't land flush, you put people out, and that's what he has.
Yeah, I was never blessed with any power, so I don't know how to speak on that. Maybe, John, you continue to give more emphasis on what it is or more knowledge on it. I don't know. I never had any power. Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern. I like this fight, too.
This is a good fight, but I honestly believe that Jessica is not the same fighter.
I agree.
She's not the same fighter she was, and Mackenzie is still, look, she's young as far as the fight game. She's still learning in the fight game, and she's really made great strides in her stand-up. And a lot of times, people are going to go back and look at certain fights that she had, and she had some marriage problems, and you have those personal problems. They affect you when you fight. It's nice to say, oh, you just put it behind you and go out and fight. Well, that's not the easiest thing to do because your mind's always going back to the problem that you have. Right now, Mackenzie Dern's in a position to get a big win, and I think this is the person that she can get it against. Even though I really like Jessica, it's just I don't see her fighting the same way.
I like Jessica Andrade also. I think ever since the Weili Zhang fight, she's kind of trying to figure out where she wants to be. 115, 125. She doesn't know what she wants to do. And it's bouncing up and down. It's like fighters that change gyms. If they're changing gyms, they're never really learning. They're kind of focusing on, well, I wasn't getting this there. I wasn't getting this there. They're kind of putting the blame on something else other than just saying, hey, I got to sit down with my coaches and figure this out. I went through that as well. I was thinking about leaving AK for a while. Visited a couple other gyms. Just didn't fit my mold. And at the end of the day, I sat down with Javier and my close people that I was with there at the gym, and it was like, we got to figure it out. And it made a big difference in my career after that. I feel like with Jessica, she's bounced from weight class to weight class. It's like that uncertainty of where do I belong. Mackenzie Dern right now. The only concern I have with Mackenzie Dern is that a lot of her training was done at the Ruka Training Center. Pat Tenori just left Ruka. He's no longer with them. It's the end of an era there. Pat was the owner of Ruka or used to own Ruka, and then he's no longer there at that facility. I don't know if the training is still the same. Is she still training there with Perillo? Are they still there doing their camp? I know the facility's still open, but I don't know a lot of people that are there anymore. So I wonder, is she stable with her training? And or is she still with Perillo? All of those things go through my mind when I'm looking at this fight. Mackenzie Dern has a lot to offer the sport in terms of her striking's gotten a lot better under Perillo. Her grappling obviously is probably the best in the game. And Jessica is not the fighter she used to be. So it should be for a fun fight. Should be a really fun fight.
Look, take a look at Jessica's pull up Jessica's record. Take a look at her last fight.
Yeah. Her last couple, right? Did she win one in there? Yeah, her last 3.
Okay. 3, right? And when you're looking at them, 2 of those were what?
Submissions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm looking.
Tough one.
I like Tatiana Suarez. She's phenomenal on the ground. Her boyfriend Patchy Mix, one of the best grapplers probably in the world right now. But if I'm gonna compare Tatiana and Mackenzie Dern in just strictly grappling,
Tatiana's a better wrestler.
Yep.
And Mackenzie's a much better submission.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. Perfect. So now I guess the question is, can Mackenzie Dern get her to the ground? To get Jessica Andrade to the ground? You can't.
Yeah.
But that's what's been the complaint about jiu-jitsu since it started.
The truth.
If you can't get the fight to the ground, how the hell do you expect to submit him? And so that's where we're at with Mackenzie Dern. We'll see.
Yep.
Should be a good fight. Next fight.
Our next one, Matt Frivola against the guy that, man, he's on a roll. Benoit Saint-Denis from France. I'll tell you what, this is the thing that really is unusual to me is Saint-Denis was fighting at welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, this is at lightweight. I don't know why.
Maybe he just felt like, look, John, I can maybe kind of answer this for you. Some fighters, as they get to the higher level, they realize that they're pushing themselves a little bit more. They realize that they're training a little bit more frequently. They realize they're taking their training more seriously. And all of a sudden, the weight just doesn't stay on. It's like, okay, now I'm walking around 174. Well, let me see if I can make 55. I know, we can tell. You haven't been 174 since like probably 3 or 4 years old. Jesus.
That was third grade.
Third grade. Lovely. So, I mean, got to be honest. There was moments where I had thought about dropping to 45. I even made 143 to fight Kid Yamamoto in Hawaii. Yeah. So it was available for me to get there. I just knew that I didn't want to make that I didn't want to make that cut every single time, and I didn't want to have to watch my calorie intake in between fights. Maybe he got into camp. He's realizing that I'm here more often. I'm training harder more often. I'm more.
Could be.
And the weight's just not staying on. Matt Frivola is a very tough fighter for a first fight down at that weight class.
Yeah, Matt's got power in his hands. He's tough. He's a gamer and stuff. But I'll tell you what, Saint Denis is really showing me, man. He's the real deal. Mm-hmm. He's good. And so we'll see how he does at lightweight.
It's going to be a good fight. But you know what, though? This Diego Lopes kid, bro, he's fun. He's fun.
Oh, but look who he's facing. This is going to be a great fight.
Yep.
Lopes against Sabatini. And I really, from the moment that Lopes went out there and he fought that fight, and man, he gave it everything he had, and it was his first fight. All over
his first fight in the UFC. Who was it? I can't remember who it was against. It was Evolov. That's right. That's right.
Who was a stud, and he was all over it.
Yep.
He just kind of ran out a little bit of gas and stuff because he didn't have a full camp or anything. He proved how good he was, and in his last fight, he was fantastic. I mean, the guy can fight, and then so can Pat Sabatini. Sabatini is going to be the better wrestler. I don't know who's going to win that
Pat's
fight.
got good control on the ground. He's a good wrestler. He's got great cardio. He tends to make mistakes, though, and Lopes seems to go ahead and capitalize on some mistakes.
Lopes will go after submissions from all different positions.
Yep. So, I mean, this is going to be a fun fight. Sabatini trains with Paul Felder, right? Or used to train with Paul Felder?
Paul Felder, Sean Brady.
Yep. They have a great camp out there, man. That whole camp, those kids from Philly, man, they're dogs. And I don't know what it is about them, but they're all built the same with the fucking rounded back and the shoulders and the traps. And you got Eddie Alvarez, Sean Brady.
Big old lats.
I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, of course.
Not only did I never have any power, I never had any muscles either that look like that. It was so depressing. John,
okay. I'm gonna say you're lying now because you used to have that Mr. Body Beautiful.
It was but I didn't have big.
I'm being honest. It's gone now. It's completely gone.
I've got a couple abs. They still poke through here and there. They still poke through.
I got abs.
It's crazy, man. When it's so funny. I'll be walking around the pool and with my shirt off. My daughter goes, "Papa, you're fat."
Oh, did she?
Dude, let me see that fat belly. Boop, boop, boop.
Oh.
Oh man, she'll
Damn,
walk up and
yeah.
pat it on the belly. She's like, "Look at you, Papa's fat belly." Look at you.
Just figure it out. You're done.
John, is there any other fights on these prelims you want to talk about? Because we have a lot of good fight announcements to talk about as well. But go ahead. Is there any fights on here? Number 4.
I like the Jared Gordon exactly versus Marco Madsen. Madsen is an Olympic wrestler, fantastic. Gordon's he's a gamer. He's tough as hell. That's actually going to be a balls out fight. I think that Gordon's going to. Obviously, Madsen's going to be working to take him down, and Gordon's going to be looking to put his lights out while he's doing that. But also, if you're going to look at the fight above that, Nazim Sadikov, he's good.
Yeah, he is.
He is tough, and he's going against Borishev, who's with Team Alpha Male. Man, both these guys fighting well, and it's a great matchup. I love this card. The whole card has got some great fights on it.
I'm really looking forward to the Gordon fight and the O'Madsen fight. O'Madsen obviously going to try to utilize the wrestling, try to control positioning, and slow Gordon down.
Coming off his first loss.
Yep, that's true. Is the confidence the same way? That's
the question.
We continuously say that fighting is all about confidence, and I've seen fighters throughout their years win, and they feel like they're unbeatable. And then as soon as they take the one loss, it's that jagged return, if they ever get back, of take one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, and then they never get back to being a title or a champion. But it's that confidence. You got to build that up slowly, and that's what happens when you're young and you're a stud. But I'm looking forward to this card. I really am. It's going to be a great card, and looking forward to it. Let's
a good one.
Let's go ahead and before we get started, let's go to Wayne In. Let's go to OnlyFans, OnlyFans.com/Wayne In. Josh, get it out, buddy. OnlyFans.com/Wayne In. OnlyFans.com/Wayne In. We've been working with them for about a year now. It's been a great relationship and a great partnership with them. We've noticed that we've got a couple fighters that are on there. So if you guys are looking to kind of link up with some more fighters, get a little bit more behind the scenes with them, go ahead and check them out. They're available on their platform. You've got guys like AJ McKee. You got guys like Luke Rockhold. You've got Chris Cyborg. You've got Brent Primus. They're putting up some of their content. You even got Paige Van Zandt, and she's obviously with her husband, Austin Vanderford, and they offer some more content on there. There's a lot of fighters and athletes on there. They cover Formula 1.
There's going to be more.
There's going to be more.
Because they just picked up the PFL, and so the PFL is going to be having some of their fighters doing exactly what we're talking about.
We thought it was brilliant. I thought it was a brilliant idea. It's one of those things, man. John, you and I were... Anyways,
if we could only
talk about it. But hey, it's a big deal. They are going to be one of the number one sponsors for the PFL, and
good for them.
Just tell that that's a big cash payout. So good for them. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for the PFL.
Smart move by the PFL.
Yep.
I wish other people would have listened.
Well, good job. Good job by the OnlyFans, getting connected with them and getting that whole deal done. Great job. But you guys can subscribe to us over there at OnlyFans.com/Wayne In. Follow us there. There will be a bunch of more of your guys' favorite fighters. Head it over to OnlyFans and check them out. All right, let's go ahead and talk about some fight announcements. We got some fight announcements to talk. Should be good.
Oh, come on. This first one? January 20th in Toronto. Our man, the American Sean Strickland, as he calls himself. I'm an American man going against the man from South Africa, Dricus du Plessis. This is a great matchup. I love this fight. I think it's going to be very entertaining. Both guys have their styles. Du Plessis is just physically strong, but I'm going to be honest. I think Sean Strickland, if you're going to go ground game, Sean Strickland's ground game is better. He doesn't get credit for it because he doesn't use it. But he was a good submission guy for a while. He's got a good ground game. His wrestling and his wrestling defense is damn good. And his stand-up is, we all know what his stand-up is. So this is not going to be an easy fight for anyone. It'll be a tough fight for Sean, and it's going to be a tough fight for Mr. du Plessis.
if Sean beats Duplessis in the way that he beat Izzy, and just where do you put him in that top tier of 185 pounders?
No, stop. Don't even go there yet. I hate that.
John,
hate that.
John, let me enjoy this moment.
It's horrible.
Please, let me enjoy this moment. This guy is single-handedly saving Bud Light. Okay, he is going to actually save the 185-pound division. That's what this man is doing.
Just ask him.
This guy is America, baby. America first.
America.
No, I'm just giving it a hard time. I mean, I got to be honest. I was kind of leaning a little bit more towards Driscus, only based on the power. But
see, and I don't. I lean towards Sean.
And then as I was thinking about it, as you were talking, because John, me, I like to change my mind every time I hear someone talk about things. Is you can convince me with a good conversation.
We got to talk about those.
You can convince me that someone can win by just saying it with inspiration.
Conviction.
You say it with conviction, and I will believe that you can win that fight. I swear. Yeah. But I can't forget how good Sean Strickland looked against Izzy. I can't forget it. And I look at Driscus, he leaves himself open quite a bit. He's a little bit more of a loopy puncher.
But he's tough.
But that being said, what the number one thing that people talk about when it comes to Driscus Duplessis is his size. His physical size and his strength, it seems to be a lot for these 185 pounders. He is a big person for that weight class.
I agree.
And so I want to know how Sean plans to handle that, because when I talked to Johnny Eblin about Strickland, he's like, look, he doesn't settle on the bottom. He's very unorthodox to take down because you're getting hit and you're getting touched with these little tiny things. The jab, this, that. When we had Johnny Eblin on the show, you guys can check that interview out also on our channel. We just had him on about, 2-3 weeks ago?
A month ago.
Yeah, about a month ago. Check that out. Great insight on how Sean Strickland fights, and they train together. We just had Eric Nixick on a couple days ago. They just dropped, yesterday or 2 days ago? That was on. Check that interview out. He talks about how good Johnny Eblin was for Sean Strickland, and Johnny talks about how great Sean was for him, because they worked each other out in terms of, I brought the wrestling and the style and the mix-up of the stand-up with the wrestling, and Sean really made me think on how to defend this, how to do this, because of his style, of that peekaboo style, that touch, whatever it was. He just had it down pat to where it was very difficult to deal with. Guys like Sean Strickland, guys like MVP, guys like Lyoto Machida, they're hard to find sparring partners for, like you said earlier, and Driscoll's going to have a hard time, especially in those first couple rounds, figuring them out. Is the jab just touching me? When's the right hand coming? Am I trying to take him down? Am I not? He looks so relaxed out there. How does somebody like Driscoll handle all that, John? How is he going to make the adjustments?
It's going to be tough, because I can guarantee you Sean and Eric Nixick will be bringing Johnny Eblin to Las Vegas to be one of his sparring partners, because he actually matches up and does things in a fashion that he can absolutely emulate what Duplessis does. But if you're looking at Duplessis, what does he have to do in this? He has to do something about the pressure. Yeah. He has to make it to where Sean is not in control of where the engagements occur. He's got to make it to where Sean is in control of some of it, and he's in control of the other half. It's not one-sided. And that's the one thing you really saw when he fought Israel. He controlled all of it. He was the one dictating when it was going to happen. So Duplessis has got to, you got to look and say, Sean likes to be the counter fighter. But if you're doing the right things, you can make that counter fighter have problems in landing their shots. But you got to do the right things. And we'll see if he can do that. But he's going to try to take Sean down. But I'm telling you right now, Sean is not easy to take down, and he is not easy to keep down. So he's going to have to work, and he's going to have to be in great shape that night to go 5 rounds with Strickland.
That's one of the things that Johnny Eblin said. He's like, look, I was able to take him down. He's like, but I wasn't able to hold him down. He's like, as he's hitting the ground, he's already working his way back up. And it's just one of the most frustrating things to deal with, because you want to land shots once the fight hits the ground. And I just wasn't able to.
You got to keep your hands clasped.
This is where I see, I'm going to take a little page of the Alex Pereira fight versus Sean Strickland. I think if Driscus gets it done, he gets it done in the first round or the 2 rounds. Because as Driscus, as we've seen sometimes in the past, he does tend to slow down quite a bit in that third round, second, third round.
He has big time first rounds.
Yeah.
Usually.
First and second rounds, I'm going to give him. He has an opportunity to use the body size, use his power, all of those things to get Sean out of there. So Sean's got to be very cautious and careful on how he approaches those first 2 rounds. Who did we just talk about the other day? Dalby. On how Dalby fought Bonfim. It was, let me just touch you, put pressure, touch you, put pressure. And then as you load up and do things, okay, I'm going to fight a very cautious fight and then go ahead and let it go. I think it was Dalby we talked about.
Yeah, it was.
And that's what he did. He understood that if I just put all this pressure on you, that you're going to tend to start to slow down and then I can go ahead and start picking you apart. I thought it was maybe it was someone. Was it someone else?
No, it was with Dalby. We talked about, look, he's going to have to put up with the first round.
Yeah.
And he's got to make it through that. And Bonfim is good in the grappling area, so he can't get caught doing anything stupid. If he hits the ground, protect yourself well. And as the fight goes on, start increasing the pressure, start increasing the pace, and make him start to have doubt. And that's what he did.
Hey, pull up the last weekend's fight card. This is really gonna bother me, John, because I think it's somebody else I was talking about that fought a really good fight.
Really?
Yeah. Who was last week's fight card? There was a fight on there. Where
it was the incredible Almeida versus Derek Lewis main event.
There was a fight. Let me see. Who was it? Okay, let's see. Dalby. Bahalo. Remember what I said? Like, he lost the first round. He lost the first round like I normally lost the first round in all my fights. Okay, he lost the first round, but he understood that Abu Magomedov is somebody who tends to slow down, has power in the first, very accurate with his kicks and his punches. He's like, look, I may lose the first round, but I'm going to keep that pace in the second and third. That's very much how I see this fight going. He's going to have to keep the pace in his grill against Driscus. And if he can do that without getting caught and clipped, then I see the fight starting to take a change by the end of round 2, and then 3, 4, 5. I'm going to lean towards Sean. Sean's just so relaxed out there. It's going to be hard to take it from him, especially in those later rounds.
Yeah.
Can you guys just confirm this was the right fight to make, right, over the Hamzat fight? I don't know the situation, but you guys agree that this is the right fight? Because there's a lot of debate right now whether DDP should have even gotten it.
Do me a favor, Dave. Please pull up Driscus's record right now.
But I have a question. You say there's a lot of debate.
There's no debate.
There should be no debate. I mean, I get, like Dana said, oh, he's getting the next house shot. Let's go back and revert back to this. Like, this is another time, and I'm not taking a shot at Dana. You can't take these things serious.
You can't take him serious. He's going to put together the fight that he looks at as best. But take a look at this, okay? And this is why I say, okay, you got him on, and now in the UFC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight win streak. And again, some of those
names.
Look, you can say, Brad Tavares is a tough son of a bitch. Darren Till. He dominated Till.
Trevor Giles. Trevor Giles is good. He's not a slouch.
Trevor Giles is good, but switched, went down in weight.
Yeah.
And then Whitaker at the end, Bobby Knuckles there. Look, he's fought good competition. And if I look at Chimaev and I go to the middleweight, he's got, I want to say, 2 wins. And, you know, there was the run between, because he beat Mearshart.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got the win against Usman, but Usman was a welterweight coming up, and Usman was doing well at the end of that fight.
Yeah.
So you take a look and you go, yeah, Mearshart was the last one that was a middleweight. So 2 wins compared to 6 wins. Duplessis deserves it.
Well, here's the other thing, though. Dave, I think you're forgetting that he tore some ligaments in his wrist, so he wasn't going to take the fight.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He wasn't going to get the fight. So I don't know what the debate is. It's not. Yeah. You have to remember, the UFC is creating interim titles because they don't have guys to fight with belts to main event stuff. So they're creating these titles because they need to make sure that they're producing main event status. And I believe their contract has something to do with ESPN. They'll have a certain amount of title fights every year. So they have to create these things. You have to give me the best that you can on these platforms.
Well,
yep.
You can't blame ESPN for wanting that. You can't blame the UFC for saying, okay, this is how I'm going to give it to you.
All right, next fight.
I already saw a commercial for it.
It wasn't a commercial.
Did you see the commercial for it?
He made the commercial. Topuria,
dude, it was awesome.
Topuria made his own commercial.
He took the rose and he was cutting the stuff off and he put it in a box. I loved it. He's watching.
This is some V for Vendetta shit right there.
V for Vendetta, dude. I love it. Come on. It was awesome. I've always said, for the last, year, I do believe this is the guy. If anyone in the featherweight's going to beat Volkanovski, this is the guy. And I'm being honest when I sit there and say, and I think more of it now that Volkanovski, and I love Volkanovski, but I think he should have taken a longer break from the Makhachev fight. It should have been a longer break. It's February. It's adequate, but I just wish it would have been like April. It would have been better off, I think, for Volkanovski. But he knows himself, and he needs to be back in there. But this is a great matchup.
It's a fantastic matchup, but I was leaning towards Volk the whole time up until this last fight. And it's not that I don't think that Volk can win. It's just that
he can definitely win.
He's never been slept like that.
Yeah.
And
you need to recover.
Not just recover, but we go back to the confidence. The way that he was performing, none of these guys could touch him with a 10-foot pole. And that being said, that armor of confidence that you had around you is now gone.
Yeah.
Look
at his fight before that against Yair. I mean, just take a look at that and the performance he put on. And that was coming off of the first Makhachev fight, and he is just, he's a definite, he's got confidence in himself, but no matter what, when you get put out like he did against Makhachev in that second fight, it's in the back of your head.
The first Makhachev fight, all that did was give him more confidence that these guys at 45 can't touch me. Round. Yeah, these guys can't touch me. I've got better cardio. I've got the skill level to stop your takedowns. Whatever it is I want to do. At 145, you guys can't touch me. Now with Topuria though, are people going to take something away from him because they're going to say, "Oh, well, you beat someone who's coming off of a knockout loss to a bigger guy"? Are you not going to give him the credit that he deserves? Not you specifically. I'm saying people, media, fans. They're not going to give him the credit?
Look at you. If you beat Alexander Volkanovski, you're beating a goddamn monster.
I mean,
he is that good. I love the way he fights.
I do as well. I just get concerned with the confidence, not just the confidence, but when the confidence goes, John, maybe you've seen this inside your old gyms when fighters come in. When the confidence goes, they start trying to change what they were. Instead of like just fixing the one thing they made a mistake in, they start trying to change. Yeah. Well, I'm going to do this instead, or I'm going to do this instead. What you were doing was working. You got caught. Yeah. And for him, I hope he doesn't change too much because you came off the couch.
I don't think he has anything to change.
He shouldn't. He came off the couch. You fought a weight class up, and it just wasn't your night. It's a shitty situation to be in, but it does play on you mentally, whether you believe it or not. Fighters are that way. We're that petty. We get in our own way. We get in our own mind and just start fucking thinking things we shouldn't be thinking. We make a sport of beating each other up so complicated in our head that it just tears us apart. It's true. And so, I'm looking forward to the fight. It's when? February?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Did they say where it's going to be?
No, there's no other info. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, good fight. Great fight.
I think that fight's in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Doesn't specify.
Good stuff.
I heard it was in Los Angeles.
Where's Topuria train out of?
Spain.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a long flight.
Yes,
we have one more title fight before to go over, and that's in March. So we got January, February, March all lined up with title fights. The third one being Sean O'Malley and Marlon Vera getting their second bout against each other for the bantamweight title this time.
And you're going to see Marlon Vera reminding Mr. O'Malley the entire time of what happened the first time. And O'Malley's going to be saying, it was nothing. Never got hurt. You watch. But Chito Vera is going to sit there and just keep on reminding him, you know what happened.
I think what you're going to see is a lot better Sean O'Malley.
I think you're right.
He's not even.
I do think you're right.
He's not a
lot more elusive Sean O'Malley.
Yep. He's a completely different fighter than that first fight. And I like Chito Vera a lot. But Chito hasn't changed a whole lot. He's the same fighter. He's a straight
ahead, come at you fighter. No doubt.
He is, John. But where the fight's gonna lack is he's gonna put the straightforward fight. He's gonna have to land those leg kicks early and often. And he's gonna have to start touching them with the hands. He's gonna have to get inside that pocket in that range. Sean has learned a lot over these last 4 fights or 3 fights, whatever it was, in utilizing his footwork, because he fought guys like Peter Yan. He's fought, Aljamain Sterling. He's had to stay on the outside and just use his reach and his speed and his range, all that stuff. He's had to use that body style of tall, long, and lanky, because those guys are just as good, if not better, than Marlon Vera. So he's already had 2 big fights in the bag where he's had to utilize that movement and those things that he needed to beat Marlon Vera this fight.
Hold on. Who's saying that he doesn't have the skill set to beat Marlon Vera?
No, I don't think so.
I'm just saying that Marlon Vera, you're going to see him continuously trying to remind Sean O'Malley of, hey, we've already done this once. That's going to be his thing. Just to keep putting it in his mind, put doubt. I don't know if it's going to work against someone like O'Malley. I think O'Malley's pretty strong. He's strong-minded, strong-willed, and he marches to his own drummer.
Yeah, my concern with Marlon is that he tends to let the rounds slip away, and he's hoping to land the one big shot, the one big elbow, the one big kick.
Yeah. Go back to the Rob Font fight.
Yeah. Exactly. So it wasn't until the end of the last 30 seconds or 5 seconds or whatever it was where he stole the round. Yeah. And so I get concerned with that type of fight, because Sean O'Malley has proven he can go 5 hard rounds, sticking and moving, and in your face and touching you and just collecting points. And until you make a mistake where I can put you out, like Aljo did, he's got the conditioning, the cardio, and the game plan to stay with the game plan. When he fought Peter Yan, man, he was very impressive. Very impressive. And Peter Yan's a tricky little son of a gun. And if he gets in range, he's got better wrestling, Peter Yan does, than Marlon Vera. And boxing wise, I would give the boxing to Peter Yan as well. It's the kicking that I would give to Marlon Vera. It's the griminess of Marlon Vera, the elbows, the knees, and the kicking that I give to Marlon Vera.
Also the ground
game for sure. But I'm not giving him the ground game over Sean O'Malley. I'm saying they're about equal. They're about equal.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
I'm looking forward to this fight because Marlon, I think, is still the same. But the same worked last time with the leg kicks and chipping away. And Sean O'Malley is not the same. And so I'm interested to see how he makes the adjustment.
Well, it's the one, and it's the big question when you look at Sean O'Malley, because if you're going to go and you look at the blueprints that are out there, and a lot of people don't remember the fight, but I'm going to fuck up his name. It's Andres Sathiakamp, who was. See, you had that look like what? No. pull up O'Malley's record if you can, but it is. I think it's Andre Sathiakamp who had a fight with O'Malley and hurt O'Malley's legs badly. Now there it is, right there. South Hamtha. I can't even say it.
Sukamtha.
Sukamtha? Okay, all right, I'll go with you, Dave. Andre Sukamtha, I can't say it.
Yeah.
But look, it was by the end, Sean O'Malley was laying on the ground in the canvas when they announced him as the winner.
Oh, okay, I remember that fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look, there is that blueprint, because the second person I watched do that to O'Malley was Marlon Vera. And he had to look and say, well, it's exactly what you're talking about. Can he implement taking those legs and making them part of the equation in the fight? If he can, he's got a chance of winning this fight. If he can't, it's going to be tough for him to get in on O'Malley.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing how this thing whole shakes out. But there's some big fight announcements coming up January, February, March. Big time.
Oh, yeah, big.
But
those are awesome.
This is not for 300, is it?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so
96 is December, 97, 98, and 99.
So are they going to do 300 in in March? Because I heard it was going to be
April.
2 shows in March, and then maybe early April then. Okay.
Could be March.
So then this is $299?
$299 is March. Yep.
Got it.
Yep. Let me get you guys out here on a happy story. Wonderboy said that he settled his pay issue. Do you remember when the fight got cancelled because the opponent missed weight?
Yep.
He never got paid, or he never got paid at the time. But he said he's finally come to a conclusion that he's happy with since that with the UFC. So wanted to end on a little high here. Wonderboy got taken care of. It sounds like at least well enough that he's happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of everyone assumed that he was going to have he was going to be compensated for something. It just wasn't going to be his full fight purse at $240,000 or whatever it was. They weren't going to do that.
That's his show. That's his show.
Yeah.
Money, and you're not going to just get that kind of money for when you actually, you made the decision.
Yep.
It wasn't like you didn't make the decision. You made the decision. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I can give you guys a little word of advice. Not a word of advice. Is during the Strikeforce buyout, there was the last show that I was supposed to fight on. It was the last show they were going to have, and they called and said like 10 days before the fight's been canceled. And in that time, what they did was they called me up and said, "Hey, what is it going to take? It's obviously we want to compensate you for your camp. We understand that you were relying on this money." And I gave them a number and they paid it. That's how that was business with the UFC. And so that's very nice and generous of them. Very nice and generous. So that's my relationship. That was my dealings with them in a similar situation where the fight didn't go through. And I appreciated that. So
no, I'm glad Thomson got paid.
Dave, do we have more time or no?
No. We're gonna wrap up right here.
Okay. Oh wait, is he on?
Mike's right there.
Okay.
But go ahead and wrap up this episode.
Okay.
And then we'll hop into that.
Okay.
Well, John, go ahead, buddy. We're gonna wrap up this talk. We had a great conversation about the UFC pay-per-view this weekend. And we talked about all the top-level fights that are coming January, February, and March. Looking forward to those. And don't forget, you have Bellator next week, November 17th in Chicago. It's going to be live on Showtime. Make sure you guys check it out. And, John, take us away.
For everyone out there, I hope you enjoy the UFC this weekend. 2 big-time fights with the light heavyweight and heavyweight titles on the line. Interim for the heavyweight, but who cares? We hope you watch it, and we will see you.